Hello guys and welcome to Engineering Rebel, and in this video we are going to assemble the head of the engine. That includes the camshaft gear, rocker arms, valve buckets, and much more. So let's get started. So before I assemble the head, I'm going to grease the top of the cylinder and also the sleeve so I can provide lubrication before I put the head onto the block. So now it's all greased and the crankshaft is actually spinning much more freely. So now let's move on to the head. So there are two components of the head. You got the camshaft and then we've got the rocker arms along with the valve buckets. But first I'm going to start with the camshaft. One way of knowing that the camshaft is aligned with the camshaft gear are these two dots. So you'll notice how these two dots are right above each other, and that's how you know that it's aligned. So far, I've put the bearing, the C-clip, the camshaft gear with the pin that's holding it in place, and the other C-clip. Now we have to put it inside the head and put this other bearing and this other C-clip. So this is what it looks like. I put in the camshaft along with the gear. And I also put in the little bearing and the little C-clip. And as you guys can see, as I rotate the camshaft, you can see the little arms turn with it. And that is what will push your rocker arm to open and close the valves. So now we have to assemble our rocker arms. So this one is the intake rocker arm and this one is the one for the exhaust. This is what is going to be holding both rocker arms in place. And these are the two little C-clips that will hold everything together. So I finished building the rocker arms, as you guys can see. This one is the intake, this one is the exhaust. And there are differences to the way they are cut. So one of them is a 45-degree cut and the other one is about a 38-degree cut. These are our valve buckets, so this will go into here. This is what will hold the rocker arms in place. And yeah, let's assemble them. So this is our head and it's all complete. And you can see as I turn the camshaft, the rocker arms open and close the valves. So here it is. So as I turn it, it pushes the valve buckets, opening and closing the valves. If I were to flip it over, so this would be your intake, and then it would compress it, and this would be the exhaust. So then this would be your intake, it would compress it, then the power, and then when the exhaust comes, this would open. Pretty amazing stuff. So now we're going to attach this to our block. So when attaching it to the block, we're going to put our head gasket here and then take our block, put it like that. So then we would put in our 4 head bolts and we would screw them in using a crisscross pattern. This is what it looks like with the head attached to the block, and I have to admit it looks pretty good. And everything is working beautifully. Now the crankshaft and the camshaft, I will grease those before I start the engine. So that will be sometime in the future. I don't want to grease it just yet because it's probably going to make a mess. But so far, I have to admit it's looking pretty good, as you guys can see. Well, that wraps it up for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay in tuned for more videos, and I will see you guys in the next one.